Good evening. My name is Sylvia Mwangi. I'm a MasterCard Foundation Scholar from Kenya. I'm currently in my final year at the University of Toronto, studying industrial engineering. It's a pleasure to be here. To help the continent progress, Africa's next generation should be engaged from the beginning through the provision of leadership in practice opportunities. It is thus a responsibility of us all, especially governments and corporations, to galvanize young people wherever they are. I'd like to share insight from my own personal experiences, and in this way contribute to tonight's theme, Africa's next generation. In particular, I'd like to shed light on the importance of strategic partnerships on the continent. This past summer, I had the opportunity to intern at Procure Africa, an agricultural and industrial procurement center based in Belgium. And as the name suggests, the farm's target market is Africa. I was most attracted to working at the farm for two main reasons. One was the nature of the work, and two, the opportunity to experience a different culture. My role was to help the company to develop a market entry strategy for the operations in Kenya. Kenya's future is bright, and so is the continent, regardless of the problems that you're currently facing. Secondly, I was curious to see how Belgium integrates the three diverse regions to form a cohesive community and thus learn something on cultural integration that could be applied in my own country. So Procure Africa serves as an example of strategic partnerships in Africa that help advance the continent's development goals. It has established a model where it takes in young, well-educated and self-driven African students as interns and leverages their passion for contributing to their home economies with the firm's expertise on procurement and logistics. We all need to work beyond today, to have foresight and spot opportunities for growth by investing in young people. Two highlights of my experience as a young intern include being entrusted to make the company's first direct presence in Kenya, something I could not have previously imagined, and especially because of my age. Having the opportunity to engage key industry players as a young Kenyan is remarkable. There's a vast wealth of knowledge, but is rarely passed down to the young people due to the hierarchical structure of our society. My presence in the company or my role was not only a vote of confidence in the eligibility of my education, but also served as a validation of my potential as a young woman. Secondly, I had the opportunity to demystify the differences between the two cultures. I've always had the curiosity to identify the strengths and differences between my continent and the rest of the world. In my opinion, it boils down to the structures in place and the people. And the only way to bridge this gap will be through new strategic ties between the people in different places. There's always something we can learn from each other. So, I highlight my internship experience because Africa's next generation will need to know how to partner and collaborate with others, both within and outside the borders, to move the continent forward. Strategic partnerships are the key to the success of the continent. They not only offer more economic opportunities, but most importantly, they provide a platform for continuous learning. My perspective on Africa's next generation is that they are and will be a mobile community that will remain strongly networked. Regardless of place, Africa's next generation has an invincible commitment to serving their home communities. But most of all, they are committed to reshaping the narrative of the continent. I'm not oblivious of the problems within the continent itself. But there is a growing need amongst the youth to experience more than that which has been placed on their plates by the previous generations, whether it is by studying or working outside their home provinces or countries. And as Albert Hirschman argues in his book, Exit, Voice, and Loyalty, the more loyal we feel towards unsatisfactory conditions, the more likely we are to voice our concerns, hence bring about change. As such, our institutions, particularly those that have direct contact with our youth, such as the institutions of learning, ought to be empowering enough to provide such opportunities to young people. I am here because of the strategic partnership between MasterCard Foundation and the University of Toronto, and so are many more people who are sponsored by the program. Africa's next generation will be well educated, whether it's through the mainstream education system or the vocational skills training centers that deliver the education level desperately needed in the continent. Being an international student myself, the beauty of my education lies in the opportunity to live in two worlds, and sometimes more. I may not travel the whole world in my lifetime, but being here at the University of Toronto brings the world to me in terms of the exposure to the different nationalities. Thus, I'm able to gain multiple perspectives and have a better understanding of the uniqueness between my home country and that of the world. On multiple perspectives, my definition of leadership has changed over the years to incorporate the strength of character. While Africa's next generation is expected to be is considered as the leaders who will drive the continent forward, my expectation is not to literally see more younger people in leadership positions, but rather I would like to see younger people who are true to themselves and to the society, who believe in the power of their voice, who believe in the power of their countries and the continent at large, and are working towards its progress every day in their daily hustles. That is the character of the people who build great societies. That is the character of people who dialogue across cultures and engage in equitable partnerships among the people and countries. In conclusion, the late Kenyan Nobel Peace Prize laureate, Wangari Maathai, said, "It's the little things citizens do. That's what will make the difference." Hers was planting trees. Mine, much like Africa, is a work in progress, shaped by many forces, yet remaining true to myself. Thank you all, and have a lovely evening.